Hey guys! Welcome to my kitchen. No, I am not cooking you anything today, although that probably would be fun because I do like food. We are actually here because I am going to be cleaning my makeup brushes. This is my favorite place to do that. I have a nice big old kitchen sink and plenty of counter space. This is usually where I set everything up, and usually I wash my makeup brushes once I have gone through a pretty sizable chunk of my stash because I got a lot. So usually when I am going to sit down to wash them, I need a lot of room. However, I just got these really cool products in the mail from a brand called the Brush Bar. I have their brush board, which I will show you what that looks like. This is it here. So this is basically just a board that helps you get in between the bristles on your makeup brushes and really deep clean them. And then they also sent me their brush drying rack, which is something I've never tried anything quite like before. So it looks like this. It's got nice black soft touch packaging. And basically, when you open it up, there are little clips inside. You just flip them out, and then you clip this closed, and it basically has little prongs for you to put your makeup brushes in. You can put them over the side of a counter and then they hang dry. So I just thought these were really super handy, so I figured I would show you guys how they work in action and then also give you some tips and tricks for how I keep my brushes clean, how I get them clean, what kinds of stuff I use. So yeah, if that is something that's interesting to you, definitely keep on watching. And if you are new to my channel, hello, my name is Lauren. Thanks for coming and hanging out and chatting beauty with me. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I hope you will stick around and subscribe. And in the meantime, let me scoot you guys a little bit closer so we can get these brushes clean. Alright, so I've got a nice little pile of dirty makeup brushes here that I need to get clean. So before we get into that, I want to start out by talking a little bit about the anatomy of a makeup brush. Let's take this Coastal Scents guy right here. So you've got your handle, you've got your bristles, and this little guy right here is called the ferrule. Basically, this is the part of the brush that attaches the bristles to the handle. And these bristles are held in place inside the ferrule with glue. Now, fun fact, when I was in high school, I was super artsy and I took a lot of painting classes. So my first foray into brush care was back when I was doing oil painting. And what I learned from that class is that the glue inside of this ferrule can be broken down, especially when you run the bristles under super hot water. It can actually melt the glue and loosen them, which will cause your brushes to shed and fall apart more quickly. Now, the other thing to know is that if you look at a brush, the bristles, they get dense and pretty well packed in, as they go into the ferrule here. But water can seep into this ferrule and again start to break down that glue. So if you want to keep your brushes lasting as long as possible and looking nice and not shedding and falling apart on you, there are two things you want to remember. Number one, do not use very hot water when you're washing your makeup brushes. You should use cool, maybe lukewarm water, because the hot water will again start to break that glue down. And number two, you never want to take your brush and run the water directly into the bristles pointing down into the ferrule, because then water is going to get in here and again it's going to start to break down that glue and your makeup brush is going to fall apart faster. So whenever you're washing your brushes, you want to rinse them off downwards or maybe a little bit sideways, but you want to avoid water splashing into the brush this way. So that being said, let me introduce you to this Brush Bar brush board here. This thing is pretty cool. It's got 3 different textures on each side of the board, and each one of these is designed for a slightly different purpose or to give the brush a little bit more of a deeper or more gentle clean. Let's see, on this particular side you have, let's see, it says this is the cylinder shape for gentle, effective cleaning. You've got pyramids here for 4 edges and a point for the deepest clean. You've got cones, deep cleaning cones double as a bristle comb to separate bristles for quick drying. Then on this side you have a triangular prism, 3 edges for a medium scrub, ridges, dual purpose scrubber and scraper, and waves, a waved scrubber and scraper. So depending on the type of brush and how much of a cleaning job you need to do, you could definitely alternate between these different surfaces to get your brush clean. This seems like a really nice durable plastic, but it's not too heavy, which is nice because you're probably going to want to only hold it in one hand while you're using the brush in the other. And it looks like it has a little divot right here for your thumb, so it's comfortable to hold, so I really do dig that. Now over here you can see I've got my drying station set up. So this is the brush drying rack here, and what's cool about this is that it has 3 different sized sort of little grips here. So you have small ones, medium, and then large ones. Now obviously this can only hold 3, 6, 9 brushes, and I've got more than 9 brushes here to dry because, like I said, I usually go a little crazy. So I do have a towel over here that I will be laying my brushes down on that I do not put in the dryer, but I am curious to try this out and see how it works. Now going back to what I said before, the reason why this is so handy is that you can store your brushes upside down in here and hang them to dry. So this way all the water drips down off of the bristles instead of dripping into the ferrule of the brush and weakening the glue. So that is kind of the idea behind this, and I've never used a product like it. I think it's pretty genius, especially if you have like a normal sized amount of brushes to wash. The soft touch is really nice. It feels like a really good quality, and it feels pretty weighty, like not heavy, but there's like a metal strip inside of this to weight it and keep it on the counter so the weight of your wet brushes doesn't tip it over into the sink. So all that being said, let's get to washing some brushes. So in terms of what I'm going to use to wash my brushes, I just got a fresh new bar of Dr. Bronner's Pure Castile Bar Soap. I really enjoy this stuff for washing my brushes. Number one, a solid cleanser is just really easy because you can just zhuzh your brush on it and then go into the brush board as opposed to using a liquid cleanser, which is maybe a little bit more messy. Also, this is natural and it is cruelty free, so I definitely think this is a nice gentle alternative to a harsh cleanser for your brush. But I also have used baby shampoo, and maybe if I have like a face cleanser that I don't particularly love but it's gentle, sometimes I'll use that up to wash my makeup brushes. To be honest, it's sort of, you know, the only thing you really don't want to use is something really harsh that is going to strip your brushes, especially if they are made with natural hairs. If they're synthetic, they're probably going to stand up a little bit better to the cleansing process. But yeah, so really any kind of gentle soap will do the trick. I got the almond version of this soap and it smells like Italian cookies. It's flippin' delicious. Alright, so got my dirty brush, so I'm going to start by wetting it under the water. Then I'm going to just zhuzh it right here on my bar of soap. Then I'm going to grab my good old brush board, get it a little bit wet, and I'm just going to massage in a swirly motion the brush back and forth over the different sections. Do you see how crazy foamy that gets? And then I'm just going to keep on swirling as I rinse. I do like to go back and just gently massage the bristles, make sure there's no soap left in them. Then I'm going to squeeze out the excess moisture from the brush, make sure that it's shaped the way that I want the bristles to lay, and then we'll take this and stick it right on in here into our little holder. So now that we've got one brush clean, I'm going to blitz through cleaning some more for you guys. Now, you may be wondering, like, whether or not this is just like a gimmicky type product or if it really makes a difference opposed to just swirling a brush in your hand with some soap to get it clean. While I have not tried this particular product before, I have tried similar ones in other type of brush boards, and what I've noticed is that sometimes, especially if you're cleaning like foundation out of a brush or any kind of cream product, the product, especially in a denser brush, is really hard to get out of the middle bristles. Like this brush is not too dense, it's pretty soft, so it's actually pretty easy. If you look inside and see, there's like not a lot of product in like the core of this brush. The product's all pretty much on the edges of the bristles. But when you have foundation that's like really deep into the bristles, just washing it on your hand really doesn't get that product out, especially if it's greasy and really clinging to the bristles. So something like this that has a bunch of ridges and little edges really gets in between all the bristles and gets the soap in there and breaks down the makeup. So I actually do feel like using something like this makes a huge difference in your brush cleaning game. Not only does it make it faster, but it also, I think, gets your brushes more clean. So all in all, I have to say I am really pleased with this guy. I felt like it got my brushes clean really quickly. I liked having the options of different textures to get in between bristles. These two I think are my favorite of the bunch. I think that especially for my eye brushes, they really got in there good and got them nice and clean. I appreciate this is a hard plastic, so you can actually put a little bit of pressure and not feel like it's flopping around everywhere, which I have tried. I think like the Real Techniques brush board is much more floppy, so I think I actually prefer this one here. And yeah, I definitely think that this is a serious, solid investment if you want to up your brush cleaning game. As for the drying rack here, I do think this is a really cool idea, especially if you are strapped for counter space. You can get your brushes all facing the correct direction. This is the best angle to dry them at, and you're not taking up a lot of space. You can either hang this off the edge of your counter or into your sink, whatever room you have. I obviously had more brushes than that, so I have mine laying down. I have plenty of counter space, so this would be less necessary for me. If I had to pick one of the two, I would opt for the brush board over the drying rack, but I do think the drying rack is really nice, especially if you're someone who feels like this would actually be helpful for the space that they have. Now, this video is not sponsored. I am not being paid to say anything nice about this brand, but they did give me a coupon code to share with you guys so that you guys could get a discount off your first purchase from the Brush Bar website. So again, this is not an affiliate code. I do not make any money off of it. I just think this product is really cool and think that it would be great for you guys to save some money if you want to get your own. So the code is BLUSH15, B-L-U-S-H 15, and you get 15% off your entire first purchase. The website is getbrushbar.com. I will link all of this information in the description bar for you if you want to check it out. But before I go, there's one other thing that I know you guys will probably ask about. These guys. Beauty blenders. How the heck do you get these things clean? These are by far a little bit more difficult than a makeup brush. Now, my big thing with a sponge like this, I could use Dr. Bronner's, but sometimes the best thing I found, good old dish soap, because this stuff is meant for breaking down dirt and grime and getting cream products out of a sponge. Sometimes this is the best way to do it. So I'm just going to wet my sponge, and I'm just going to really massage all of that makeup-y grossness right on out of there. The key with this method is that you really got to rinse your sponge really well, and obviously, like you can see, some of the makeup came out. I'm going to have to go back in with more soap. But if you're going to be washing with this dish soap, make sure you rinse your beauty sponge out really well, because you do not want to be putting like soap residue on your face. For curiosity's sake, I am going to see if I soap up my sponge, what happens with this like wavy side. Maybe I can use like these ridges to like massage out. Yeah, look at that. Oh, of course. Oh no. Oh god, maybe not. Well, that just took a nice little hunk there out of my beauty blender. Maybe not such a good idea. And there you have it, a whole bunch of nice clean makeup brushes. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope you learned some helpful tips and tricks on how to get your brushes clean and what not to do to keep your brushes from falling apart on you, especially too early. I don't know what the heck, this is a brand new beauty blender. Now I got a nice chunk taken out of it. I actually went in with my old beauty blender and massaged it into these ridges here on the brush board, and it was totally fine. So I don't know what the heck, maybe Are you making your beauty blenders less durable now, Beauty Blender? I don't know what's up with that. I'll have to try using the brush board more with sponges to let you guys know how that works, but I think that these products were great with my makeup brushes. I definitely would recommend them. If you're gonna make a purchase, make sure you use the discount code I shared earlier. And yeah, I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. I always really appreciate your support. And again, if you're new, make sure you click that subscribe button before you go, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!